Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Yo Gabriella. My goal is to enhance the quality of your experiences and your energy so that you can embody your essence, to understand the language of your body, and to realign the posture of your heart so you can fully indulge with the richness of life. So, whether you're new or you're coming back, I'm so blessed to have you part of this tribe to share this experience with you, and I'm truly honored that you're here. So, whenever you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. So, we're actually going to get started on our backs. Your knees can be bent, they can be straight out, or you can come into a butterfly pose where your feet are together and your knees are open up nice and wide. Maybe you adjust the shoulders, rolling them down and back. The placement of your hands can be of your choice if you want them out nice and wide, up overhead, maybe even on your belly. And we're just going to take a moment to do a little body scan, connect into the sensations of our body, grounding ourselves. So maybe just take a quick gander at your feet. Maybe you wiggle them around. Notice what is coming up, how they feel. Do they feel stiff or loose? And then relaxing the feet, bringing attention to your legs, going up the shins, the knees, all the way to the hips. Maybe you squeeze and you tense your legs nice and tight. Hold it for 2 seconds and then exhale, release. You can do that one more time, squeezing all of your muscles of your legs together, your glutes, your thighs, your calves, your feet, and then relaxing them. Notice your belly, if it feels bloated. Does it feel tight? Does it feel stiff? Or does it feel pretty malleable? Does it feel soft, inviting? Your back pressing up against the mat. Your shoulders, your chest. Maybe you kind of move them around, wiggle out any tension that you feel in the shoulders. Noticing what you feel in your hands. Maybe you clench your fists and you squeeze your biceps really nice and tight, and then releasing them. Doing that one more time, making a fist, squeezing your hands as a fist, squeezing your biceps, and then releasing them. Notice how this invites a little bit more relaxation into the body. Notice your neck, your throat, your jaw. Maybe you notice a little gap between your teeth, your cheekbones, your eyelids, your eyebrows, your forehead, and then the scalp of your head. And maybe you slowly, just gently rock your head from side to side. Feeling the consistency of the head on the mat. You can go ahead and neutralize your head. And we're just going to rock our bodies forward and back a little bit. So now we're just moving a little bit of the lymphs. So just like you're rocking forward and backwards. You can go ahead and neutralize your position. I'm going to have you place both of your hands on your belly. we're gonna do and invite a little bit of breath work to energize the body and oxygenate the cells. So we're gonna just be taking consistent circular breaths in from the nose and exhaling out of the mouth, kind of like you're blowing out a candle. We're gonna do this for about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna hold our breath at the top. So whenever you're ready, we're gonna go ahead, take that deep breath in from the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Fully breathing in from the belly. Taking up as much oxygen as you can. Feeling your ribs kind of hugging yourself, hugging your diaphragm as you breathe. Noticing the air going up through your nose. Feeling the vacuum-like or the pull of the diaphragm on your inhale. Expanding the belly and the ribs, and exhaling. We'll do 5 more breaths. Keep it consistent. Last one, breathing in. Exhaling out. And inhale in. Holding the breath. Keeping it passive. You don't have to force anything. Feeling maybe the tingles in the body. Holding it just a little bit longer. If you need to breathe, you can. And exhale in 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale out. If your body needs to adjust itself, you can. We're going to do this one more time, and this time when we're doing the breath hold, instead of holding it at the top on our inhale, we're going to hold it at the exhale and see if you notice any difference. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start that circular breath going at your own pace, but keeping it consistent. There's no pause. Taking a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale. See if you can keep the breath more towards the belly versus breathing in from the chest. We'll do 10 more. Three, 2, last one in, and exhale, hold. Remember that this is a passive breath. You don't have to breathe fully out. Maybe keep it at about 90%. Feeling the pulse, the tingles in your body. If you need to breathe sooner, you can. And we'll take a nice, deep, big breath in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can breathe in. And exhaling, you can go ahead and normalize your breath. Take a moment just to notice what you feel. How do you know that you feel different? And then slowly you can start to make some movement in the fingers, the toes. Maybe you take a nice deep stretch with your hands up overhead. Wherever you're at, you can go ahead, start to bend your knees, keeping your feet on the mat. We're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee, creating a figure 4, and then opening up our hands in a T position. We're going to do some windshield wipers. So this is really starting to open up the hips, but also the lower back and the spine. What I want you to focus on is your lower core, your abdomen, and making sure that you're keeping it with a gentle tautness and focusing on the area right above your belly button for the movement. So slowly with control, you're going to start to bring your knees and your legs over towards the left side of the mat, dropping the sole of the right foot and the right knee is up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring your legs back up towards center, keeping the cross, noticing your core, the space above your belly button, and then exhale, bring your knees over towards the right. Inhale, slowly back up towards center, gently keeping the shoulders and the lower back placed on the mat. Exhale, dropping the knees over towards the left. Inhale, back up, being slow and controlled with the movement, finding the balance between effort and ease. Exhale over towards the right. We're going to do this 2 more times on each side, noticing your core, the obliques, how the obliques help you lift your legs back up towards center. Pacing it with your breath, inhaling back up towards center and exhaling to drop the knees. We'll do this 1 more time. Noticing if you can relax the jaw. And inhale back up towards center. Now we're going to do a few nerve flosses for the knee, but also a pelvic floor opener. So we're going to place our left hand on our right foot. The right knee is going to draw in towards the chest or towards the armpit. And then we're going to straighten as much as possible the right foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the right foot back onto the left thigh and pushing the right knee away. Inhale, drawing the right knee in towards the chest and the armpit, and then lengthening your right foot up towards the ceiling. Now you don't have to have a full straight leg. You can keep a micro bend within the leg, but notice just the sensations that you feel on the hamstring.
Exhale, bringing it back down towards your left thigh and pressing the right knee away. Whenever we're doing movements, we always want to focus on the core, engaging the pelvic floor by bringing the belly button towards the spine and hugging the ribs gently in towards each other, kind of like you're giving your ribs a hug. So going at your own pace, exhaling to bring the leg down and pushing the knee away, and then inhale to draw the knee in towards your chest and straightening the leg back up towards the ceiling. Again, moving slow and feeling where you're feeling glitches. Where can you invite more softness into your body? And then slowly you can bring your right foot back over your left leg, opening up the hands, and then releasing the cross of your right leg. If you want to straighten it out in front of you, make any movements to feel blood flow coming back towards the hip or the foot. And then maybe you take a pause just to notice how open you feel on the right hip socket, the outside of the right leg, maybe even the knee. Whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead, place the left foot over the right knee, creating that figure 4. The right hand is going to come onto the left foot, drawing the left knee in towards the chest and straightening the left leg, up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the left foot back down onto the right thigh and pressing that knee away. Again, going at your own pace. Maybe you notice some movement into the ankle as well, the arches of the feet, the back of the knee. Every place is being stimulated in its own way. And maybe it's not drastic, but we are creating movement into the body. We're going to do 3 more. Inhaling, drawing the knee in towards the chest and straightening the leg. And exhaling it back down. Notice the functions of the muscles. Are you relying on your joints, or can you engage the stability muscles around your legs? Are you forcing your body to do movements and get into a posture that feels uncomfortable? Last one. And you can go ahead, release that left leg, making any movements that feels comfortable for you. And then grabbing your block nearby, we're going to place the block in between our legs. This is going to help engage the inner thighs, the pelvic floor muscles. And we're going to start to tilt the pelvis back, pressing the lower back into the mat. And you'll notice that as you do this, you're squeezing the glutes, pressing into the heels. And slowly, I want you to count to about 5 to lift the hips all the way off the mat. Keeping the shoulders down on the mat, being careful of the spine. And then exhale, starting to place the upper back on the mat first. Feeling the consistency of the spine and the vertebrae, and then bringing the glutes back down towards the mat. We're going to do this a few times, and each time I want you to focus on a different part of your body. So right now, I want you to focus on your toes, the balls of your feet, and your heels. Pressing into this area, starting to squeeze the glute, tucking the pelvis back into the mat. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to lift the glutes off the mat. And then exhaling, 5, bring the hips back down, 3, 2, 1. You can also elongate the counts if you want to do it more than 5, but we're going for quality versus quantity. Now focus on your knees. Press it into your heels. 5, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you want to place your hands on your hips, kind of where the hip flexor area is, maybe right above your hip bones, you'll notice a shift, or if you can keep them balanced next time you do it. So go ahead, press the lower back into the mat, engage the pelvic floor muscles, pressing up through the heels, noticing the hips where they shift, keeping the shoulders relaxed, and then slowly starting to bring them down. We're going to do this one more time, and this time I want you to focus on your spine, feeling the articulation between each joint. And again, I know we're moving slow, but squeezing the block with our legs, engaging the inner thighs, the whole body works as a whole. Go ahead, take that breath in, starting to tuck the pelvis, noticing the spine, making it nice and smooth. What muscles need to be engaged and what muscles need to be relaxed to make this a smoother flow. You can go ahead, release the block from your legs. If you want to windshield wiper them from side to side real quick, letting go of the inner thighs, the pelvic floor muscles. And then slowly, however you want to get up, we're going to make our way to come up into a cross-legged seated position. We're just going to do a few lateral spinal movements. So on our next breath in, we're going to inhale the hands up overhead, noticing your core, this place right above your belly button. The right hand is going to drop down towards the right, and we're going to inhale the left hand up and over towards the right. Keeping the left knee down. If you notice it coming up, maybe you've gone too far. Now focusing on the core and the obliques. If you actually want to place a block in your hand as well, this might help you create that connection within the lats and the obliques. We're going to slowly start to bring that left hand down across the body over towards the right, tapping the block or the hand down on the ground, and then again focusing on the core, lifting that block up towards the ceiling. See if you can notice the domino effect from your core, and the domino effect rises to the extremities through your movements. Exhaling to come down, inhaling up. We're going to do this 2 more times. Maybe you notice the muscles of the spine, muscles of the back, the lats. There's a lot of areas to focus on. But when we focus on the right areas, then the body doesn't have to compromise itself. Taking one more. When the body does not have to compromise itself, we save energy. Inhaling back up towards center, switching the blocks into the other hands. Left hand comes down by the side, and inhaling the right hand up and over. Taking a nice deep breath in, keeping that right hip bone and knee rooted down. Exhaling, rotating over towards the right. Inhale the right hand back up. Again, moving with intentions, finding the core and allow it to trickle out into the extremities. Or maybe it's kind of like there's a band by the block. and you feel that resistance or that tension. I'll do this 2 more times. Keeping your arm nice and long. And inhaling back up towards center. And you can release the block down. So even though those were some simple movements, just notice how your core feels just by moving intentionally within the body. We're gonna roll over, coming onto all fours. Hands are stacked underneath the shoulders, pressing into the LJ space between our pointer fingers and our thumbs. Our knees are stacked underneath our hips, hip distance apart, and the toes are gonna be tucked. We're gonna press into our hands, protracting the shoulders so we have a little bit of a roundness within the back. Press through the heels and lift the knees off the mat. We're gonna gently suck the belly button in towards the spine or up towards the diaphragm area. Breathing into the space, pressing the shoulders away from the ears, and the inner elbows are rotated forward. And our next exhale, we're gently, with control, going to bring our knees down towards the mat. We're just gently going to tap it and then lift the hips or the knees back up. You have the option to place a block in between your knees again. This will help engage those inner thighs. And you can make the distance between the block any way that feels comfortable for you. Focusing on the core, we're bracing the ribs to hug towards the center. It's kind of like your ribs are giving your diaphragm a hug, just a gentle hug. The body is nice and taut. We're going to do this 2 more times, focusing on your breath, exhaling to bring the knees down. And inhale, lifting up. Last one. This is cool because it also mobilizes the feet, the arches of the feet, and straightening the legs. I'm going to do a little bit of a rotation, so pressing into that left hand. Inhale, the right hand comes towards the outside of that left leg. Keeping the hips squared, squeezing the block if you have it in between your legs. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Right hand comes in front, back into that downwards facing dog. Breathing in, and on your exhale, left hand comes toward the outside of the right shin, calf, ankle, wherever your arm reaches. And exhale, bringing it back in front of you. We're going to do this 2 more times. Really rooting through the heels, even though the heels don't touch, that's okay. Bringing the diaphragm up, lifting the diaphragm up, kind of like a vacuum. And slowly you can start to release the block from in between your legs. And this time we're going to press into the left leg, and the right hand is going to come in between the hands. We're going to roll over onto the left ankle, and the right toes are going to point forward. So now the toes are facing in the right direction. We're going to walk our hands towards the center of the mat. So now you should be in a wide-legged forward fold. You're going to take a deep breath in and exhale out. On your next inhale, you're going to press into the heels, lean and sit back gently, and start to squat until you can lift yourself up. Exhale, our hands come back down, straightening the legs. Bending back into the knees, seeing if you can keep the knees kind of pressed right along with the toes, pressing our knees out wide, lifting ourselves up. And exhale to come back down into that forward fold and straightening the legs. We'll do this 2 more times, bending into the knees, lifting ourselves up, and exhaling down and straightening the legs. One last time. Find your balance, lifting up from the crown and exhaling down. This time our heels are going to rotate in and our toes are going to rotate out. We're going to squat our knees down and going to come into a goddess pose. Taking a nice deep breath in. Hands are going to come down onto our knees. We're just going to do a few rotations. So again, always focusing on the center of your body. If you think that there's an X between the shoulders and the hips, focusing on right where that cross is. And we're just gently going to dip the right shoulder in. The gaze is over our left shoulder. Inhale and back up towards center. And exhale, the left shoulder dips down. Inhale. Exhale, you might feel burn in your legs. And then inhale, you can straighten the leg. Take a nice forward fold, and we're going to inch the legs up just a little bit. So now there's about, let's say, 1.5 to 2 feet in between the legs, or maybe just a little bit wider than hip distance apart. The toes are going to face slightly out and the heels are gently in. And I think you know where we're going with this, but we're going to start to sit our hips down, pressing our elbows into our knees. Hands come into a prayer pose, coming into a deep squat. If you want to place a block underneath your hips, you are more than welcome to do this as well. But see if you can lift up from the crown, noticing what you feel in the ankles. We'll be here for another 3 deep breaths, squeezing the hips up. It's kind of like you're just barely trying to touch. If you do have a block, we're trying to lift our hips to have 1 millimeter above that block. 3, 2, 1. Slowly your hands can come down towards the mat, leaning forward gently a little bit, and then you can lift the hips up. You can rock from side to side if you need. And then this time we're just going to walk our hands over towards the left side of the mat. Toes are going to point forward, and then we're just going to walk our hands back, coming into a high plank. So now we're coming in the opposite direction, bringing our knees, chest, chin down towards the mat. Chaturanga, sliding our way up into an upward facing dog. And exhaling, coming into a child's pose. Your toes can be together, knees out wide, hips come to sit on your heels, and resting your forehead down on the mat. Your hands can be out in front of you. Starting to calm the breath, calm the nervous system down. Slowly you can start to walk your hands up. And we're going to come to sit onto our hips. Our legs are going to come extending out in front of us. If you want to sit on a block, you can. We're going to do a nice hamstring stretch. So we're going to gently flex the toes towards the feet, or towards the face. Hands are going to lift up overhead, drawing the belly button in, and biceps are by the ear, pressing through that heart space to make sure that we're hinging from the hips versus the lower back. We're going to press forward. Once we feel that stretch, our hands will come down. You can also interlace your fingers between your feet, and that will also give your feet a nice gentle stretch, all the bones and the joints within the feet. Gently pressing through the heels. We'll be here for 3 deep breaths. Meeting your body's needs, not your mind's. And slowly you can release the grip, rolling yourself up. And if you have your block nearby, we're going to come into a fish pose. So placing the block the long way on the mat, kind of towards the upper part of the mat. You're going to start to lay your back on it. So the base of the ribs are at the bottom of the block. If you need 2 blocks, you can always place the other block underneath your neck. And you can play around with the height of the block to whatever feels comfortable for you. You can go ahead, roll the shoulders down and back, relaxing them and feeling this nice chest and neck opener. Your knees can be bent, or you can elongate your legs straight out in front of you. Taking a few more deep breaths, allowing your body to melt into this pose. Making any adjustments that your body needs. Maybe rest the eyes, relax the tongue. Go ahead, take one more deep breath in. And maybe an audible sigh out the mouth. Slowly, we're going to tuck the chin, protecting the lower back. And then you can roll over off the block, removing it, placing it aside, and then coming down onto your backs. If your body wants to do any other pose to feel complete, go ahead and honor your body. Or you can meet me in our final resting pose, bringing our feet all the way out in front of us. Hands can come by our side, rolling the shoulders down and back. Relaxing the jaw, closing the eyes. And just giving your body a moment to feel this space, to feel the stability. And maybe you come to a recognition for gratitude. Gratitude to move your body, for the time to move your body, the dedication. Slowly start to take a deep breath in from the nose and sighing out. Slowly you can start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, bringing movement back into the body. Taking a nice deep stretch with your hands up overhead. And maybe you roll over to either side of your body, utilizing this position to gently push yourself up to come into a cross-legged seated position. Taking a moment to just rest your eyes. Feel your body in this presence and this awakeness. Bringing your hands to prayer pose in front of your heart. Taking a moment to honor yourself for showing up, for moving your body, honoring your body for moving, and most importantly, may you stand in your light and cherish it. Malama Pono. Thank you for practicing with me today. I'll see you next time.
I'm truly so grateful to have shared this experience with you. If you are looking to continue feeling expansive, experiencing salvation with a rich quality of life, then please support by subscribing, engaging, and liking this video. Until we meet again, Malama Pono.